What up, boys? This is pretty cool. Thank you. Appreciate it. Awesome, man. I actually heard that stat. That's pretty crazy. It gives some strength back to Georgia football a little bit. The powerhouses of Florida, Georgia, California, Texas, Ohio. It's pretty cool that it'll be represented Georgia, Atlanta specifically, and it's pretty surreal to be here. It does. It seems like a long time ago, but it's really easy to kind of look back and picture what it's like, playing linear at home in the playoff or Alatoona at home in the playoff. So it's pretty cool. It does. I think you do your best to take it all in. Take it one step at a time, take it day by day, and just understand that you're here for a reason. But be able to look around and do what you grew up watching on TV, and be a part of that group. My first goal is to be as vulnerable as possible. Let teams know exactly what they're getting in me, and be a competitor and just have fun doing it. I think a lot of people get stuck because you're not in the moment as much, but you really enjoy it if you're in the moment. And that's my goal. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it was a crazy transition for sure. I think the competition to the CAA for FCS is amazing. I think every single game, there's great teams you're playing every single week, and there's a lot of parity. And you get to the Big Ten, it's very similar as well. The cool part is Minnesota and New Hampshire, both blue-collar, gritty programs, and I found really similar people at Minnesota as I did New Hampshire. And the transition was not as difficult as it may have seemed. I think the first couple weeks of spring ball were pretty humbling. Played against a really good defense every single week in Minnesota during spring ball, so got pretty open to that. And then through the season, it was just a growing process for the team, and I thought we did some really cool things this year. A lot of it is understanding, how you think as a quarterback, especially. I think of the NFL. The NFL is a passing league, and always has been, always will. And I think to be an efficient passer, you have to be smart. You have to be able to see the field well and be able to control what you have on offense. And I think for a quarterback in my spot, doing my best to showcase that in a way that eventually promotes success down the line is really important for me. Can you? Yeah, I didn't have a ton, and that was okay with me. I think I had 4 or 5. I had some Ivies in there. Dartmouth and New Hampshire were 2 schools that it kind of came down to at the end. And I was on the visits to both schools in the same state, and I would have never thought that I'd be in New Hampshire looking to play football in college. Yeah. We talk about creating a crack on your shoulder and that in a positive way, not making you hard, but making you humble and understanding kind of where you came from to promote growth in your career. And for me, it's just a different path. I have my own adventure, I have my own journey, just as everybody else does here. And so I'm taking that with a grain of salt a little bit and understanding that I'm very grateful to be where I'm at right now. And I've had a lot of people help me along the way to get where I am today. I have not yet, no sir. Yes, sir. Yeah. It's been a crazy journey. I think, again, I was just talking about everyone has their own journey, their own adventure. And I've gotten pretty lucky along the way with the people that I've met, and I can only, give the credit to those people who have helped me along the way and helped, form me into the player I am today. And going from Centennial to New Hampshire, back to Minnesota. I never thought I'd be playing cold weather football, where I grew up playing in 65, 70 degrees on Friday night, and I'm going to play, 10-degree games at New Hampshire and 0-degree games at Minnesota. I learned that cold weather football is true man's football. So it's been a lot of fun, and I can't wait to see where it takes me.
What are the teams want to know from you?
I'm number one for everybody here. It's just to understand who you are. I mean, some teams, the scouts and the coaches just want to understand what they're getting in you. My goal is to be as vulnerable as possible, let teams know exactly what they're getting in me. Because I think at the end of the day, if you try to control where you're going by being a person you're not, it's a bad fit for both parties. And for me to let the team know exactly what they're getting is really important.
Yeah, how do you feel your
Yeah, I think what New Hampshire and Minnesota did for me was, prepare me for what NFL offense looks like. I think we have very, very wordy calls at Minnesota. The quarterback's in control of every single thing on the offense. And Coach Harbaugh and his offensive staff did a great job of preparing me, to be successful at Minnesota, but also to be successful down the line of my career. And again, I give credit to them for that. And I've had a blast doing it with them. I've learned a lot of football from them. Yeah. Mhm. I think being yourself, number one, is, again, if you're trying to be someone you're not, that's when you start to kind of you feel these shortcomings a little bit when you try to be someone you're not. I think there's a lot of work in breathing and looking around and taking it all in before you actually get into the room. Like when I walked in here, my first thing I did was, all right, I'm gonna take the room in and assess where I'm at, and I'm gonna be present in the moment with you guys. And if you're going too fast, you're rushing through it, you're not gonna be here. And I always write in my wristband every single game is be where your feet are, and that's big for me. And that's how I know that I can play my best football. And being here for you guys, that's how I know I can be my best presenter of myself.
What was the first thing you noticed taking in the room?
You grow up watching this stuff. You see people doing this on TV your whole life, and I get to stand up here at this podium and do it myself. And it's been an incredible experience so far. Not yet, not here.
What was your experience like kind of at this first Shrine Bowl?
Yeah, it was awesome. I would say, number one, it was fun learning an entire new playbook and learning how different people think about the game of football, especially offensively, and then meshing that all together with the guys that are there that we've never played with together, and even seeing from their point of view where they came from and how they think about football, and using it to mesh together and create your own kind of worldly view of the game and scheme specifically. And then getting through the week and understanding like different people practice. Minnesota and New Hampshire were completely different ways of practicing. And you get here, it's a little slower tempo, a little more. Throughout the week it's a little slower. And so for that sense, it's cool to kind of mesh that as well and see how the transition will be as you get into the NFL. Pardon me? I have, yes sir. Yeah. Informal. Shrine Bowl, yeah. It went great. I think the good thing is that every single scout here that in Shrine Bowl that I've met have been super personable. They've been a lot of fun to talk to, and it's been a lot of fun getting to meet new people from different areas of the country, especially different teams too.
You talked about New Hampshire and Minnesota. What about Georgia growing up and when you started to play there and your high school career?
Yeah, we got to I got the opportunity to play in a pretty high classification in Georgia. We played in 6A football, coached by Coach Michael Perry, his brother Tyler Perry, and Coach Lynn Marsh, and they ran an outstanding program. They had some really cool years at Gainesville, and we got to do that here at Centennial. Had a great team around me, and it was a blast. Every single Friday we did something new on offense and on defense, and it was just fun to be a part of. Where I got to be kind of the ringleader of that and be the commander on the field for that offense. Threw the ball around like 56 times a game, which is a quarterback's dream. And I kind of look at that as kind of the starting point of my career. So my first one's always Abdul Carter, and I've never had to create a game plan around one person before, and it's pretty evident that you have to make sure you know where he is at all times. Jalen Reed from Penn State, Castro from Iowa is an incredible player. I would say both backers at UCLA, incredible. The fun part about the Big Ten is you get to play guys like that every single week, and that's the fun part as a quarterback. It's the challenging part. Makes you into a better team because you have to make sure that every single week there's a different flavor that you're playing against, and the game plan changes. How you attack different opponents it's a lot of fun, and it relates to the NFL as well.
What did you like about Jalen Reed?
Yeah. Yeah, I think at safety, I think the bottom line is that you're mobile and you can get around the field. That's the bottom line. You can see in the way he plays how his eyes move and how he's able to scan the field pretty effectively and efficiently. As a quarterback, playing against a quarterback on defense doing the same thing, it's a lot of fun. And we had, there were some times we went back and forth. He got some big hits on our offense, and we got him a couple times too. So that's the fun part about playing. It's a chess match back and forth, and you got a few of those guys on defense and a few of those guys on offense, and the chess match continues to go on. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I would honestly say that was probably the hardest defense we had to prepare for between Illinois and Penn State. Um, they did so much in the back end that looked exactly the same every single time. I talk about the relation between the Big Ten and the NFL. That's pretty consistent too, and I think it's a little easier to disguise maybe in the NFL because the hashes are tighter. There's the space is different, but Illinois does such a great job of tying their back end together with motion. They're so keyed in on motion, which is the big part of how a quarterback can unfold a defense, and they're crisp and exactly the same every time. And so for Illinois, they have number one, they have great players, but great coaches and great scheme, which makes it really hard to play quarterback against them. Yeah.
What would you have to do in your NFL career to get the nickname Mad Max?
I've heard that a couple of times actually. Like I said, just be myself. I think for me is to be myself every single week. On the weekends, every Sunday, Monday or Thursday. And nicknames come. They're not just. I'm not saying, hey, call me Mad Max. That's coming from an external point of view. So, whatever nickname I get, I'll be okay with it.
Daniel Jackson's going to be out there shortly.
Yeah.
What type of weapon can he be in that?
Daniel, the best part about Daniel's game is his ability to see coverage really quickly and diagnose it as a receiver. And he's so keyed in with how the motions work, what coverage and what flavor we're getting that week on different down and distances and different situations. And it's cool having a receiver out there thinking the same way I am on a consistent basis. And, Daniel's route running capability speaks for itself. He's absolutely incredible. He's incredible after the catch as well through the catch. He's made some, highlight-worthy, absolutely ridiculous catches this year. And the fun part is I got to be a part of them. I've never, that catch he had against Michigan was absolutely incredible. So he does it all. That's the fun part about playing with him.
What was your adjustment like going from FCS to Big Ten? And
Yeah.
how long did you feel like it took you before you got really comfortable playing against that level of competition?
Yeah, the first thing going into the Big Ten is the resources, right? Yeah, we were practicing outside in spring ball at 5:45 in the morning, when it's 10 degrees out with 20-degree wind chill. That's we were outside when it's climbing the snowbanks, getting onto the field, and then you get to Minnesota and we're in this nice indoor, and so there's no more practicing outside in the snow, and that's kind of the first thing is understanding that I'm coming in with perspective. That a lot of people don't have from the Big Ten. A lot of them were coming out of high school to the Big Ten. It's a lot different. And so I came at it with an angle of empathy and gratitude and perspective. And then actually getting there, the transition was, it was easier than most, I think, because of the team I had around me and the staff I had around me. The culture that Coach Fleck, runs at Minnesota is absolutely incredible. It's second to none. It's very, very unique. And I found, I aligned with it really, really quickly. And so when I got to spring ball, I'm like, all right, time to play some ball now. And it took me I would say 2 weeks to really get adjusted. We're playing against a really good Minnesota defense every single day. One of the best in the country, in my opinion, this year. And I got to do that in spring ball. And, a couple weeks go by, all right, I'm comfortable now. And then you get to the season, and the adjustment period's a little slower than you think, too. And it took us a few games to get going, and then we had a really good stretch in the middle of the season this year, and did some cool things.
You lost at the end there against in the opener against North Carolina. Iowa game was tough in the second.
Yeah, tough.
Came back against Michigan, almost won that.
Yeah.
Covered onside kick. But then after that, you guys seemed to really
Yeah.
hit your stride. What was it at that point that really clicked for you?
Yeah, I would say it was a very, very tangible feeling of unity, I think, after the Michigan game. I think the unity piece was there, but actually proving to ourselves that we can do it. And I remember Coach Fleck's post-game speech after Michigan was the most incredible post-game speech I've ever heard in my life. The actual details I won't get into, but the feeling that you had after the locker room, after a loss, was nothing that I had ever been a part of. And after that, we just hit the ground running. It was bang, 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 bang for a little bit there in the middle. And I can't tell you exactly how it worked. I just know that we kept our head down and just kept the 1-0 mentality we had, and understood that if we're going to win more games together, you can't. The line of success is up and down. It's not straight. There's going to be some wins and losses, and just to continue in a positive direction is really important for us. That's what we did.
Last question here.
Is there a Cliff Notes version of what PJ said in that locker room?
I'm going to keep that between the team, and it was all positive. I think the cool part about being a part of a football team is you get to keep those messages with the team, and they hold a special place in our hearts. And to be able to be a part of those speeches is really cool, especially from an outstanding leader as Coach Fleck. Just throwing tomorrow. Sammy, I see you over there. What's up, man? What do you got for me? Oh, great question. So that's kind of where I first started playing, actually, in Toronto, and I played receiver, and I absolutely love playing receiver. I still remember some catches I made back in the day. Whether those memories are kind of morphed into me actually being a better player than I was, but that's where I started, and I mean, to actually see where I ended up is pretty crazy. Playing quarterback now at the combine, it's fun to see where your journey takes you, and understanding that every single piece of your journey has meaning and has value to which has provided you to where you're at now. So I had a blast playing in Canada.
All right, thanks, Max.
Yeah, thank you.
You got your name tag.
Yep.